Mysteriorum Libri Quinque, also known as Dr. John Dee's 5 Books of Mysteries. This is the 3rd edition, annotated, edited, enhanced in many, many ways by the fantastic Joseph Peterson. So this 3rd edition comes 40 years after the very first edition, which was in 1985, something along those lines, in which Joseph Peterson was attempting to make the text available. Nothing more, nothing less, just making the text available. This, I'm going to say it's the most important one of John Dee's books. It's the book in which he's really describing the process through which he attained all his Enochian knowledge. And so, in the first edition, Joseph Peterson made the material available. In the second edition, in 2003, Joseph Peterson made many of the Latin passages translated into English and heavily annotated the text, making some of the more obscure phrases, wordings, a little bit more easy to understand. And then this 3rd edition benefits from a further 2 decades of experience. And folks, this is such a pleasure to read. I mean, if you're interested in magic at all, you'll know about John Dee. John Dee was the court mage for Queen Elizabeth, and many more things besides that. Jason Louvre wrote a very good book all about John Dee called Empire of Angels, something along those lines, and it was very good. It's rife with typos and grammatical errors, which made it a little bit difficult for me to read, and it was particularly dry, which is why I really enjoyed reading this little short introduction, 36 pages, as you can see, which gets to all the same beats, all the same talking points, maybe in a little less, verbose way. It's a little bit more compact. And I learned stuff here, folks. I mean, just reading the notes, the footnotes, very often in these books, you just find references to other books, right? But no, Joseph Peterson really gives us the nitty-gritty in these footnotes, and they're all a great pleasure to read. So that's just talking about the introduction, which gives us a history of John Dee and gives us an overview of the process that he went through in discovering this Enochian method. Then begins the transcription and very often translation of the 5 books of mystery. There's a little preface here by Elias Ashmole in which he describes the adventure of discovering this the manuscript, the existing manuscript of the 5 books of mystery. Anyway, I'll let you discover that at your leisure. But yes, I just want to point out that while the Latin parts have been translated, it tells you where the translation starts and where it ends. It gives you the full translation. The translation does happen in the footnotes. The text itself is the original, right? And it's all the original spellings, and wherever there's a particularly difficult word to understand, then Joseph Peterson translates it at the bottom of the page. If you're looking for the origins of the ring of practice, of the table of practice, of the sigillum de emeth, all of those classic elements that we think of when we think of John Dee's Enochian magic, it's all in here. It's not in the later de Casaubon description of what happened between John Dee and the angels. So yeah, it's all in here. This is the good stuff, so to speak, right? It's the good stuff with Joseph Peterson's copious notes, which make everything engaging and clear. I want to point out these excellent appendices at the end over here, right? We've got the first one over here, which is about the two precursors to the Sigillum Dei Meth, which you'll possibly recognize if you've been following Dr. Stephen Skinner's latest work on the Summa Sacrae Magicae. This is from the SSM, right? And then this one is one that you'll recognize if you've maybe picked up Joseph Peterson's the Sworn Book of Honorius. So very, very recognizable designs, right? Very recognizable patterns, and very clearly the inspiration for John Dee's Sigillum Dei Meth. And then there's a very a couple more very, very interesting appendices. One about the table, in which Joseph Peterson gives us his observations. For example, a little mistake that happens in the top corner over there. So he explains all of that. And then a description of the Almadel of Solomon, which, Joseph Peterson very accurately points out may very well have been an early inspiration for John Dee. This Almadel table is very similar, at least from an outside perspective. If you're just glancing at it, it is kind of similar to John Dee's table of practice, right? You've got some definitely some reoccurring elements there, and then he gives a let me get to it. I'm sorry. He gives a very popular at the time, apparently, right? A very popular method of calling angels into a crystal. Sorry, and it's all described here. It's all the text is right here. I thought it was kind of funny. It's over here. Sorry, that's the appendix number 6, the example of crystal scrying experiment. Excuse me, I got that wrong. This is just simply about the Almadel. And then there's this one over here, another example of a holy table, the Semaphoras or Shemha Mephorash table. Again from the SSM, the Summa Sacrae Magicae. But yes, it was this one which I thought was kind of was very cool, because instead of requiring for a virgin scryer, it instead invokes the power of the virginity of various saints vicariously. So quite an easy experiment, presumably. And I thought it was kind of funny that it refers to let me see, talking about Jesus, right, by the milk which our Lord Jesus sucked out of the paps of our Blessed Virgin. I thought talking about Mary's paps during an invocation was kind of funny. It doesn't take much. And then there's the wonderful bibliography towards the end over here. So let's talk a little bit about the construction of the book. I've been critical in the past of the construction of some of the books that I've received. It was possibly just a problem with that particular copy that I had of the elucidation of necromancy, which was kind of coming away at the seams. This is solid, folks. It's mass production quality paper, although it is very nice, right? It's nothing pulpy. It's a very lovely paper. Okay, it's not expensive paper. You can tell that it is mass production paper nevertheless, but it is nice. It's good quality mass production paper. It is Smith sewn. You've got those signatures there, right? You've got the head and tail bands, which actually sit very nicely when the book is closed. As I say, it is a mass production book, and therefore it's you're not going to get the kind of quality that you can get for a £300 book or a £700 book or a dollar book. This is something along the lines of, I can't remember what the recommended retail price is for this. I think it's probably something along the lines of $60. Something along those lines, possibly a little less. I'll leave links in the description, of course, so you can go and check that out. But this is about right for that price, right? And I think that having these end papers, which are printed on both sides, is very nice. I mean, it is printed, right? It's not obviously, for this kind of price, you're not going to get original painted, handmade end papers, right? But it is very pretty, and I'm a big fan of the design of the book itself. I think that is actually really, really nice. It is two materials here. I'm not sure what this is. It feels like possibly nylon. It's definitely not paper, which is great. Yeah, I think this is actually nylon. It's kind of a plasticky fabric, right? So nice and solid. And then the stamps on the book themselves. And on the back you have this the Weiser logo, which is very cool. The Agla design from the Ring of Practice. Very, very cool indeed. What more can I say? I think that here's what I'm going to say. If you don't know anything about John Dee, this could be the one single book that you get. You would get a lot out of it. You might be a little bit confused by the body of the text itself, right, from the actual work of John Dee, but let me see. I do actually think that Joseph's notes, his introduction, his appendices will in fact make all of this worthwhile. And thanks to all those footnotes, it should be quite an enjoyable process studying all of this, trying to get into the mind of John Dee, right? Who was renowned for his convoluted mind and incredible intelligence. There we are. A real joy to study, and accessibly written. I think that, there are quite a few books written about John Dee. I can comfortably recommend this as the one book that you'll ever buy, right? If you're just interested in getting an overview of John Dee with some actual material of John Dee's, this is great. This is really, really cool. Obviously, it'll probably become a part of a wider library, but yeah, this has got all the essentials. There we go. I think that's reasonable. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed the review. Don't forget to leave a like, hit the like button, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and check out all the links down below to all the good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. See you soon with another video. Bye-bye.